Dear learners, in the last program, we learnt about sound acoustics. Now let's discuss the factors to be considered in acoustic design. Studio and control room acoustics play a very important role while recording any talk or musical program. Irrespective of which type of studio facility is being designed, built and being used, there are various factors which should be addressed in order to achieve the best possible acoustic results. And these are acoustic isolation. Appropriate isolation techniques are necessary to incorporate into their design in order to keep external noises to the minimum. The noise is transmitted through the medium of air or through solids. Special construction techniques are often required to dampen these external sounds. The next is symmetry in control room and monitoring design. There should be symmetrical reflections on all axes within the design of a control room or single room project of a studio. The center and acoustic imaging is best when the listener, speakers, walls and other acoustical boundaries are symmetrically centered around the listener's position. In a rectangular room, the best low-end response can be obtained by orienting the console and loudspeakers into the room's long dimension. Third is frequency balance. The frequency components of a room should not adversely affect the acoustic balance of instruments and speakers. The acoustic environment should not alter the sound quality of the original or recorded performance. Room should exhibit a relatively flat frequency response over the entire audio range without adding its own sound coloration. Now we talk about reflection. It is the change in direction of a wavefront at an interface between two different media so that the wavefront returns into the medium from which it originated. Next is absorption. It occurs when only a portion of the incident acoustic energy is reflected back from a material's surface. The absorption of acoustical energy is inverse of reflection. Next in row is reverberation. A sound created in a big hole will persist by repeated reflection from the walls until it is reduced to a value where it is no longer audible. The repeated reflection that results in this persistence of sound is called reverberation. A reverberation often occurs in a small room with height, width and length dimensions of approximately 17 meters or less. Reflection of sound waves also leads to echoes. Acoustic treatments of studios are of prime importance to have the sound propagated perfectly. For achieving optimum RT characteristics, combination of acoustic absorbers is used in the studio. Every material has some absorptive qualities. This is described by its coefficient of absorption, a number between 0 and 1. The value 0 corresponds to totally reflective and 1 corresponds to an open window. These numbers can be used to compare materials and to predict the result of treatment. Some of the commonly used absorbers are porous materials. Porous materials are used for the absorption of mid and high frequencies. Mineral wool, glass wool are members of this class. These materials are very good absorber. These absorbers are used with the covering material which acts as a face of such absorbers. Now let's talk about fibrous materials. Insulation boards, perforated tiles fall in fibrous material category. The tiny holes in the fibrous material acts as traps which are responsible for the absorption of sound and dissipation of the sound energy. The absorption of these materials increase with increase in the softness of the material. These materials have very poor absorption on low frequencies. Panel resonant absorbers. Panel absorbers are thin wooden ply veneers with an air cavity behind. This is generally used as low frequency absorber, that is LFA. So learners, we have seen that a lot goes into designing and building studio acoustics. Hence, all the important factors should be kept in mind in order to achieve the best possible acoustic results. And the most important thing that we just can't ignore is safety. We will learn about it in our next lesson.